This is a video response to Chris Perillo, aka Lockergnome. Did a video, Where Were You, on September the 11th, 2001. Well, back in 2001, our entire family still lived together. And remember, I had to go off to work that day. I guess it was about 10 o'clock in the morning when I had to be at work. And I was dressed, I was all ready to go. And I walk into the furthest room into the back of the house, which was sort of like a den, and my dad was back here watching television. Now, he was a lover of watching news, just like I am. In fact, that's probably where I got it from. So all the times I saw him watching CNN and MSNBC and all these news programs, I kind of just picked it up. And he's like, look at this, and you believe this happened? You know, and what had happened was the World Trade Center was on fire, but it was just the North Tower at the time. So I kind of stood there and all like, what happened? And I was kind of like a little bit in disbelief. And like, oh, those poor people, you know. At the time, I think they didn't know whether it was a jet airliner or one of those little small Cessna jets. People were just, you know, giving their opinions what they thought might have happened. And there was a lot of commentary from the people that were doing the report on TV. And then as I was watching it, in the background, you could see this second airplane kind of swoop around the corner and go right into the South Tower. And the first thing that came to my mind is something is not right here. Something is just not right. I mean, we see a tower burning, we know it's an airplane because that's what they told us, and we see another airplane fly right into it. And terrorism is the first thing that comes to a person's mind. And I was just really shocked at that. Needless to say, I arrived at work late that day because I was so glued to what I was seeing on the TV. I lost all track of time. And I think by the time I finally got my bearings together and started heading off to work, it was about 8 minutes after 10. I had to be there at 10 o'clock. And I only lived a mile from where I worked, so that wasn't too bad. So I think I got to work like 8:15, 8:20. And when I got to work, everybody was talking about it. And during the course of the day, we actually had people come into the store and say, the Pentagon got hit. You know, we just heard about an airliner flying into the Pentagon. And then later on, another jet crashed in Pennsylvania. My first thought was, oh, I live in Pennsylvania at the time. Where in Pennsylvania? Where in Pennsylvania did this plane crash? And then we finally found out the answer to that a little later when other customers came in and said it was Shanksville, which is out near the middle of the state, which is probably about 125, maybe 150 miles west of where I was. So that was just kind of a shaken up day, you know. And I got home that night. I remember I was watching a news show called Nightline. I remember that September 11th fell on a Tuesday. Fell on a Tuesday that year, and it was just a weird day. Now, the other thing that kind of really got me shook up too, on July the 7th, 2005, there was some acts of terrorism in London, England. And those acts of terrorism, a couple of them were on the underground, and there was a bus. There was a bus that blew up. And when I saw the location of where that bus was, it was parked directly in front of the hotel that I used to stay at when I went to London. Okay, if you look at maps of this, or if you Google it, okay, you'll see that that bus blew up in an area called Russell Square. And right in the center of Russell Square is the Russell Hotel. And the Russell Hotel was the venue that I used every time I went over to London. So that kind of like brought back memories of like, are we safe anymore? And now you fast forward to 2011, and you find that we're probably still taking things for granted. We probably shouldn't. But you know, it's good that people like Chris Perillo do these videos to set a conversation going on this, because it is healthy that we all share our experiences, because something that somebody may have gone through, they may have heard somebody else talk about it, and that could be a big help to them. So that's where I was. I was in my own home, and I actually saw what was going on the TV in between the northern tower getting hit and the southern tower getting hit. And then after that, I had to go off to work. But it was a horrifying day. And I also would like to thank all the firemen and the police officers that gave their lives to keep us safe here 10 years later. You know, they had some acts of heroism there, where people actually were pulled out of those towers before the towers collapsed, and there were other people that unselfishly gave their lives, and to them I say thank you. And thank you, Chris, for getting this video conversation started on this. Thanks for watching.